Our nation is in the midst of a raging debate about how we should respond to immigrants and refugees. As a follower of Jesus, I find myself wondering, what does the Bible say about that subject? Did you know that there are more than 50 different Bible passages that address the subject of immigrants and refugees? Clearly, this is a subject that God is passionate about. Let me share some examples with you. Exodus 22:21, the prophet Moses, God speaking through the prophet Moses, speaking to the early Israelites. You shall not wrong or oppress a resident alien, for you were once aliens in the land of Egypt. If you do abuse them, when they cry out to me, I will surely heed their cry, and my wrath will burn. The prophet Moses, once again, Leviticus 19:34. The alien who resides with you shall be to you as a citizen among you. You shall love the alien as yourself. For you were once aliens in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. In other words, you'd better pay attention. Later in Israel's history, at a different time, the prophet Isaiah spoke on the subject of immigrants and refugees as well. He said to his people, grant justice, hide the outcasts. Let the outcasts of Moab settle among you. Be a refuge to them, a refuge from the destroyer. Now understand, the Moabites were the enemies of the Israelites. And yet the Moabites were in a war with a third-party nation. And so many Moabites were streaming across the border into the south of Israel, the territory known as Judah. I'm sure there were many Israelites who were afraid and who thought, we can't have all these foreigners, we can't have these people with a foreign religion streaming into our country. But God, speaking through the prophet Isaiah, said, you must. This is a matter of justice. You must welcome them and let them settle among you. Love them as you love yourself. Did you know that Jesus himself was once a refugee? Shortly after his birth, his parents, Mary and Joseph, fled with baby Jesus to Egypt to escape the attack of King Herod on all the children in Bethlehem. What if when Mary and Joseph reached the border of Egypt, they had been turned back into harm's way? Maybe that's why Jesus was so compassionate toward the vulnerable in his culture, in his time. Jesus, later in his ministry, put it this way, Matthew 25:35. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. Truly, I tell you, whatever you have done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. So clearly, as people of faith, God wants us to be proactive in advocating for immigrants and refugees. We may not all agree on all of the details, the precise details of policy, but I think we can all agree on this broad spiritual principle. We have a sacred responsibility to ensure that our nation's approach to immigrants and refugees is compassionate and generous. I encourage you to speak up, to contact the White House, your senators, your congressional representative. If you don't know how to contact them, go to commoncause.org and use their locator page to find the contact information for your senators, your representative, and for the White House. It's time for us to take a stand as people of faith. It's time to act. Thank you for caring.